Hello everybody, my name is Paula and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to count down the top 5 thunder monsters in Monster Legends. You have to know that all of this is my opinion and that I rank these monsters by how good they are in battle. Keep in mind that this is in the context of Team Wars and not PvP. To be honest, there isn't that many great thunder monsters for defense. The two most widely used ones though are by far Baltic and Zyla. Baltic is a truly amazing attacker. In higher level typically when a Baltic gets a turn, the other team is dead. His trait is also a big part of why he's so widely used on defense, because negative status effects will miss him 20% of the time. Zyla is basically just an upgraded Baltic in every aspect, even her trait is an upgrade of Hardened. However, she does have one major flaw for defense. Baltic has 4 moves that give him an extra turn, so the AI can't really mess up and choose the wrong one. Zyla only has 3, and this is the sole reason why most players favor Baltic over Zyla on defense. There are 2 other monsters that would be pretty great on defense though. The first is Mercurius. Now Mercurius is a pretty good thunder attacker, but why she's so good on defense is because of her trait. This makes her a pretty great option to put on defense if Earth is one of the elements. However, if the water element or the sea book is involved, Hydrotila the Boldcaster would be your best choice. And why is that? Again, because of his trait being immune to freeze. Anyways, let's move on to the top 5 thunder monsters for offense in Team Wars. Starting off on number 5 is Tempest. Tempest has extremely well-rounded stats. He doesn't really lack in anything. In terms of trait, immunity to blind isn't that great at all, but he makes up for that with his amazing moves. His best move is without a doubt Raging Thunderstorm, which is an AoE stun. Besides that, he also has an AoE blind and a single stun. Because of his stats and damage output, Tempest can also be a mix between denier and attacker. He's an amazing monster and you can make him into anything you want apart from support, of course. Speaking of mixed monsters, number 4 is yet another one. Alex Bone shares a lot of similarities with Tempest. His stats are also very well rounded, and his trait is the same exact, relatively bad trait, immunity to blind. He too has an AoE stun and a single stun, but this is where the similarities stop. Instead of Tempest's AoE blind, he has an AoE daze, but his 2 most interesting moves are his evasion moves. The first one is a bit more damage and has a lower cooldown, while the second one is an AoE. You might be thinking, why am I praising evasion so much? That's because evasion just got buffed recently. Before, it only made the monster evade all damage, but now it evades absolutely everything, including status effects. So when a monster has evasion on them, they're effectively invincible. Alex Bone is a very unique and versatile monster, and that's why he deserves number 4. Number 3 is where the really overpowered monsters start though. Baltic is probably the most well-known and iconic legendary in the game, and for a good reason. His power and life are pretty bad, but his speed is great. His trait is Hardened, which is very nice, but his skills are where he really shines. Baltic has 4 extra turn skills, meaning that he can just spam them over and over and over again until he runs out of stamina. As I mentioned before, his skills are also AI proof, so even if AI uses Baltic, your enemy is in deep trouble. One of his skills is also a 0 cooldown skill, meaning that resetting his cooldowns won't do anything. Baltic is by far the best attacker in the game, not counting the VIP Zyla. Speaking of Zyla, she's number 2. In terms of stats and trait, Zyla is just an upgraded Baltic. In terms of moves, yes and no. Her moves do more damage and cost much less stamina, which results into way higher DPS, but none of her extra turn moves are actually special based, so when facing off against another Zyla or Baltic or any thunder monster for that matter, she'll have a much tougher time. But even so, because her stamina to damage output ratio is so much better than Baltic's, she will crush Baltic in DPS any day. Her only flaw is that she isn't AI proof. She only has 3 extra turn skills, so 1 times out of 4 the AI will mess up and potentially throw the game. This is the reason why Baltic is a better defense option than Zyla. Besides that, she's pretty flawless though. And the number 1 thunder monster is Hydrotila the Boldcaster. All the Nemesis monsters boast crazy stats in every category, and the Boldcaster is no exception. He has the 2nd highest power, the highest life, and the 2nd highest speed in the thunder element. And as I've said before, his trait is immune to the freeze and super attuned. Hydrotila was originally intended to be a counter to General Thetis, but only the water version accomplishes that. If Thetis drains all of his stamina with Stamina Devours, Hydrotila will first lose all of it, but after, because he's water and he's hit by a water move, Super Attuned will give him back 50 stamina. Because these other 2 Hydrotilas aren't water, but rather Thunder and Earth, Super Attuned will not help them when dealing with Thetis. However, I have heard some rumors that Boldcaster and Riftmaker will be buffed, so they'll actually counter Thetis, but those are only rumors after all. Anyways, why is Boltcaster so good? He's the fastest AoE denier in terms of thunder, and his deny skill isn't just the usual AoE stun either. It's an AoE freeze. In terms of thunder, no one except him is immune to freeze, so that is a major advantage. And if that isn't amazing enough, that move also gives immunity to freeze to all allies. He also has some really strong skills, and a skill that is unlike any other. It does 65 special base damage, applies stamina leak to the target, and gives stamina regeneration to all allies. But the best thing about it is that it costs no stamina and has no cooldown. Once you run out of stamina, you don't really have to recharge, you can just use this skill. The insane stats, trait, and skills combined make him an absolute monster, and he definitely deserves the #1 spot in terms of thunder monsters. Anyways, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.